The sun climbs over the vast Kalahari Desert, painting the endless sand dunes in shades of gold and orange. This is, a land of extremes. Life here is a constant struggle for survival. The heat can be punishing, and water is a precious treasure. Yet, in this harsh landscape, a remarkable community is stirring. A family of meerkats emerges from their underground burrow, blinking in the bright morning light. Their small dark eyes scan the horizon. Every day begins with this ritual of caution. The world outside their safe, dark home is filled with both opportunity and immense danger. This is a world where the hunter and the hunted share the same space. The air itself seems to buzz with a hidden tension. The meerkats, small and slender, are a vital part of this ecosystem. They are expert foragers, digging for scorpions and insects, but their presence on the open plains makes them a target. High above, unseen by many, predators are also beginning their day. Their sharp eyes are designed to spot the slightest movement on the ground below. For these magnificent birds of prey, the bustling meerkat family represents a potential meal. The stage is set for a daily drama of life and death, a performance that has been repeated for thousands of years. The meerkat mob is a bustling society. Young pups playfully tumble over one another near the burrow's entrance. The adults take on different roles. Some begin digging for breakfast, their long claws perfectly suited for the task. Others stand tall on their hind legs, acting as sentinels. Their heads pivot constantly, their senses on high alert. They are listening for the faintest rustle in the sparse grass and watching the vast empty sky. This constant vigilance is not a choice. It is the very foundation of their existence. Without it, the family or mob would not last a single day in this unforgiving wilderness. The beauty of the Kalahari sunrise hides a stark reality. For every creature that calls this place home, the day is a gamble. The meerkats must find enough food to sustain their family. They must teach their young the essential skills of foraging and watching for danger. At the same time, the predators circling above must also find food to survive. It is a delicate and often brutal balance. The story of the meerkats is therefore a story of incredible resilience. It is a testament to how even the smallest of creatures can thrive against overwhelming odds through teamwork, courage, and an unbreakable community spirit. The most critical job in any meerkat mob is that of the sentry. One individual will find a high vantage point, perhaps a termite mound or the branch of a skeletal acacia tree. From this lookout post, the sentry becomes the eyes and ears of the entire group. It stands perfectly still, a small upright silhouette against the vast blue sky. Its duty is to watch for danger, specifically the aerial threats that are the meerkat's greatest enemies. The rest of the family can then focus on foraging, digging for beetles and grubs, trusting that their dedicated watchman will alert them to any approaching peril. This division of labor is honestly remarkably efficient and absolutely essential. The sky is a source of constant anxiety for the meerkats. It is a wide, open expanse from which death can arrive with terrifying speed. The sentry's gaze is relentless, scanning from one horizon to the other. It is not a casual glance. It is a focused, systematic search for the telltale shape of a raptor. The birds of prey in the Kalahari are masters of the air. They can soar at great heights, appearing as mere specks, or use the glare of the sun to mask their approach. The sentry must be able to distinguish between a harmless vulture and a lethal eagle from a great distance. The survival of everyone depends on this skill. This system of surveillance is built on complete trust. The foraging meerkats do not constantly look up from their digging. They place their faith entirely in the sentry on duty. This allows them to dedicate their full attention to finding food, which is, well, a difficult task in the sparse desert environment. The sentry, in turn, takes its responsibility with the utmost seriousness. It will not eat or rest while on watch. It communicates with the group through a series of soft, reassuring chirps, letting them know that all is well. This constant stream of sound is the auditory glue that holds their society together and keeps them safe. The sentry duty is a shared responsibility. After a period of intense concentration, one meerkat will climb down from its post, and another will immediately take its place. This rotation ensures that the lookout is always fresh and alert. No single individual is burdened with the task for too long. This cooperative behavior demonstrates a sophisticated social structure. It shows that meerkats understand the importance of working together for the common good. Their safety is not left to chance. It is a carefully managed collective effort, a testament to the power of community in the face of constant danger. Suddenly, the sentinels' calm chirps cease. They are replaced by a sharp, frantic bark. This is the alarm call for a ground-level threat. A pale, chanting goshawk, a cunning and agile predator, has decided against an aerial attack. Instead, it is using the low scrub and grasses as cover, attempting a surprise ambush on foot. The goshawk is swift and silent, hoping to snatch an unsuspecting meerkat before the alarm can be fully raised. The sudden change in the sentry's call sends an immediate shockwave of panic through the foraging group. All digging stops instantly. Heads snap up, and every meerkat freezes for a split second. The goshawk bursts from its cover, a feather blur of motion. The meerkats do not hesitate. They explode in every direction, scattering like dry leaves in a gust of wind. This is their primary defense against a ground attack, chaos and confusion. By running in different directions, they make it difficult for the predator to focus on a single target. The air is filled with high-pitched shrieks of terror as they race towards the nearest burrow entrance. These bolt holes are their lifelines, a network of underground tunnels that offer sanctuary from the dangers of the open plain. Their lives depend on reaching this safety in time. The goshawk is relentless, its eyes locked onto a single meerkat that seems slightly slower than the rest. The predator closes the distance with incredible speed, its powerful legs pumping as it runs across the sand. The meerkat zigzags desperately, trying to evade the bird's grasp. It is a pure test of speed and agility. Every twist and turn is a life or death decision. The rest of the mob has already vanished underground, their panicked calls echoing faintly from the safety of the burrow. The lone meerkat is exposed and vulnerable, its fate to be decided in these frantic few seconds. Just as the goshawk seems poised to strike, the meerkat makes a final desperate dive. It scrambles headfirst into a small secondary burrow entrance, disappearing from view in a cloud of dust. The goshawk pulls up short, frustrated. It pecks at the entrance to the hole, but it is too late. The meerkat is safe in the dark, cool earth below. The immediate danger has passed. The mob survived the attack, but the encounter serves as a stark reminder of how quickly their peaceful foraging can turn into a desperate fight for life. The goshawk flies away, leaving behind a shaken but intact family. Among the meerkats who scattered was a female, heavier and slightly slower than the others. She is pregnant, carrying the next generation of the mob. This makes her more vulnerable. Her added weight reduces her speed and agility, making the frantic dash to the burrow a much greater challenge. During the goshawk's attack, she had to push herself to her absolute limit. She could feel the predator's presence just behind her, a terrifying shadow threatening not only her own life but the lives of her unborn pups. Her survival is paramount, for if she perishes, her lineage ends with her. This biological imperative gives her a powerful will to live. The other meerkats, having reached safety, peer out from the burrow entrances. They watch her desperate struggle, chattering with alarm. While their instinct is self-preservation, the social bonds of the group are strong. They cannot directly intervene against a predator like a goshawk, but their presence and calls offer a strange sort of support. For the pregnant female, the sight of the safe holes and the sounds of her family give her a target to aim for. She's not running blindly. She's running towards her community, her sanctuary. Every ounce of her energy is focused on closing that final terrifying gap. After the goshawk departs, the mob slowly re-emerges. The pregnant female is breathing heavily, her sides heaving. The close call has left its mark on the group. There is a renewed sense of caution, a heightened awareness of the fragility of their existence. The mother-to-be is groomed by her companions, a social behavior that helps to reduce stress and reinforce family bonds. They seem to understand the extra burden she carries. Her well-being is the group's investment in the future, and they instinctively act to protect that investment. She is a living symbol of their continuity. Weeks pass and the landscape of the family changes. The female gives birth to a litter of tiny, helpless pups, deep within the safety of the burrow. For the first few weeks of their lives, they will not see the sun. They are completely dependent on their mother and the other members of the mob, who act as babysitters and providers. The mother's successful escape from the goshawk was not just a personal victory, it was a victory for the entire community, ensuring that a new generation would have the chance to learn the ways of the Kalahari and one day contribute to the mob's survival. 6 weeks after the pups are born, they're finally old enough to venture outside the burrow. They're curious and playful, but also pretty naive to the dangers that lurk beyond their subterranean home. The adults are extra vigilant during this time, teaching the youngsters how to dig for food, and most importantly, how to respond to alarm calls. The world is a classroom, and the lessons are, well, pretty harsh. Just as the family settles into a new routine, a new and far more formidable shadow falls upon the sand. This is not the familiar threat of a goshawk. This is something far larger, far more powerful. High in the sky, a martial eagle circles. It's Africa's largest and most powerful eagle, a true titan of the airways. Its wingspan can stretch over 2.5 meters, and its eyesight is, honestly, astonishingly sharp. From a kilometer above the ground, it can spot a meerkat with ease. For the meerkat mob, the martial eagle is their ultimate nightmare. It's a predator that strikes from the heavens with breathtaking speed and lethal precision. Its arrival changes the atmosphere completely. The soft, happy chirps of the foraging group are replaced by a tense silence, punctuated only by the nervous glances of the sentry. The sentry on the termite mound has spotted the danger. It lets out a completely different type of alarm call. This is not the bark for a ground predator or the general cry for a distant raptor. This is a specific high-pitched and urgent shriek reserved only for the most immediate and deadly aerial threat. It is the eagle alarm. The sound cuts through the air with an unmistakable message. Death is coming from above, and there is no time to waste. The very sound of this call triggers an instantaneous instinctual response from every single member of the mob, young and old. The martial eagle is an incredibly intelligent hunter. It doesn't simply dive straight down, it uses strategy, often positioning itself with the sun behind it to blind its prey. It can calculate angles of attack with deadly accuracy, anticipating the panicked reactions of the animals below. Unlike the goshawk, which might be deterred by a missed opportunity, the martial eagle is persistent and patient. It will circle for long periods, waiting for the perfect moment to strike, for that one split second of inattention from the meerkats below. The mob is now facing its greatest test. The eagle begins its dive. It folds its massive wings and, plummets towards the earth like a feathered missile. The journey from its soaring height to the ground can take as little as 4 seconds. 4 seconds. It is an incredibly small window of time, a period in which the fate of an entire family hangs in the balance. The sentry's piercing alarm call continues, a desperate beacon of sound guiding the others to safety. There is no time for thought, only for reaction. The training and instincts that have been passed down through generations must now take over completely. The moment the eagle alarm sounds, the adult meerkats react with lightning speed. They do not simply run for the nearest hole. Their first priority is the pups. The young meerkats are confused and frightened by the sudden chaos. The adults herd them, nipping at their heels and physically pushing them towards the safety of the burrow. A single adult will often place itself between a pup and the descending eagle, offering its own body as a potential shield. It is an act of incredible bravery, a selfless demonstration of the group's commitment to protecting its youngest members at all costs. The pups, prompted by the frantic calls and shoves from the adults, scramble towards the dark opening of the burrow. They tumble over each other in their haste, a chaotic flood of tiny bodies disappearing into the earth. The sky seems to grow dark as the eagle's shadow engulfs them. The sound of rushing air from its wings is a terrifying roar. The last of the pups disappears just as the eagle's talons, sharp and powerful as steel hooks, slice through the empty space where they had been moments before. The eagle hits the ground with a thud, its deadly strike missing by a fraction of a second. The eagle stands on the ground, its magnificent head turning from side to side. It is surrounded by the silent entrances to the meerkat's underground fortress. It has been outsmarted. The combination of the sentry's early warning, the specific alarm call that communicated the exact nature of the threat, and the selfless teamwork of the adults to save the young all worked in perfect harmony. The 4-second window, which should have been more than enough time for the eagle to secure a kill, was closed by the meerkats' incredible communication and cooperation. They had won the battle. Defeated in its initial strike, the martial eagle does not give up immediately. It stands its ground, a formidable and intimidating presence. It knows the meerkats are just below the surface. It might stalk around the burrow entrances, hoping to catch one that peeks out too soon. But now, the meerkat's strategy changes. They are no longer scattered and fleeing. They are consolidated in their fortress. From the safety of their tunnels, they can regroup and coordinate their next move. The dynamic has shifted from a chase to a siege, and the meerkats have the advantage of home turf. Slowly, a few brave adults emerge from different holes. They do not come out alone. They surface together, standing shoulder to shoulder. They face the eagle, puffing up their fur to appear larger and more intimidating than they actually are. They arch their backs and hiss, baring their small but sharp teeth. This is the power of the mob. A single meerkat is no match for a martial eagle, but a united group presents a much more challenging opponent. They are a fortress of fur and courage, standing together against a common enemy that towers over them. This collective defiance is a calculated risk. They are trying to harass and annoy the eagle, to make it clear that this is not an easy hunting ground. They will advance together, then retreat in unison, a wave of coordinated aggression. Their loud, continuous chatter is designed to unnerve the predator. It is a bold and dangerous game, but it serves a vital purpose. It shows the eagle that the cost of hunting here is high. It might be able to snatch one of them, but not without a significant and stressful fight from the entire family. Eventually, the eagle decides it is not worth the effort. There are easier meals to be found elsewhere. It spreads its massive wings, gives one last look at the defiant mob, and launches itself back into the sky. It circles once, then flies away towards the horizon. A collective sigh of relief seems to pass through the meerkat family. They have faced their worst nightmare and emerged victorious. Their survival was not due to the strength or speed of any single individual, but to the unbreakable power of their unity. They stood together, and together they won. The survival of the meerkat mob in the face of such a fearsome predator is a profound lesson in the power of communication. Their system of alarm calls is not just simple noise, it is a complex language. They have different sounds for different threats. A specific call for a snake requires a different response than the call for an eagle. This allows them to react appropriately, saving precious seconds that can mean the difference between life and death. The sentry doesn't just shout danger, it communicates the precise nature of that danger, allowing the group to execute the correct defensive strategy without hesitation. This sophisticated communication is paired with an equally impressive level of cooperation. When the eagle alarm sounds, the instinct of every adult is not just to save itself, but to protect the young. This cooperative parenting, where all members of the mob contribute to the care and protection of the pups, is a cornerstone of their society. It ensures the highest possible survival rate for the next generation. This shared responsibility strengthens the bonds within the group and creates a resilient community where the well-being of the whole is more important than the well-being of any single individual. The daily drills and constant vigilance are a form of shared education. Young meerkats learn by observing their elders. They see which adults to follow, they learn the meaning of the different alarm calls, and they practice the frantic scramble to the burrow. This transmission of knowledge from one generation to the next is vital. Survival skills are not just instinctual, they are taught and refined through experience. The entire community functions as a school, and the curriculum is focused on one subject: how to stay alive in the Kalahari. Every successful escape reinforces these lessons. The drama that plays out on the dusty plains is therefore more than just a struggle for existence. It is a beautiful example of a highly functional society. The meerkats have developed a system where trust, communication, and selfless cooperation are the keys to overcoming adversity. They demonstrate that even the smallest creatures, when they work together, can stand up to the most powerful threats. Their lives are a constant reminder that there is immense strength in unity, and that looking out for one another is the most effective survival strategy of all. As the sun begins to set, casting long shadows across the Kalahari, the meerkat family gathers near their burrow. The pups are safe, their bellies are full, and the terrifying ordeal with the martial eagle is over for now. An atmosphere of calm descends upon the group. They engage in social grooming, reinforcing the bonds that held them together during the attack. The day was a trial by fire, but they passed the test. Their community remains whole, their circle unbroken. Their success was not an accident, it was the direct result of their evolved social behavior. The threats will never truly disappear. Tomorrow, the goshawk may return, or the martial eagle might circle again in the high, clear sky. The desert is a place of permanent danger, but the meerkats will be ready. The sentries will take their posts, the foragers will trust in their watchmen, and the adults will be prepared to protect the young at a moment's notice. They do not live in fear, but in a state of perpetual readiness. Their resilience is not just about escaping danger, it's about the ability to return to a state of normalcy and community after the danger has passed. This story of the meerkat and the eagle is a powerful allegory for the challenges we all face. It highlights a universal truth. We are stronger together than we are apart. In moments of crisis, when a shadow looms over us, the instinct to scatter and save only ourselves can be powerful. But the meerkats teach us a different way. They show us that by communicating clearly, trusting one another, and working together to protect the most vulnerable among us, we can overcome even the most intimidating obstacles. Their unity is their shield. And so, as darkness falls on the desert, the last meerkat slips into the safety of the burrow. Down below, in the warmth of the earth, the family settles in for the night, a tight-knit community secure in their numbers. Their story is a hopeful one. It is a testament to the incredible power of cooperation and a reminder that in a world full of challenges, looking out for each other is not just a kind gesture, but the most fundamental key to survival. The unbroken circle of the meerkat family is a symbol of strength, resilience, and the enduring power of standing together.